So whenever I'm coaching a company, I really need to understand from what level to what level you want to go. If you've done, let's say 2 or 3 million and you want to get to 10, it's a completely different approach. What got you to 2 or 3 million, systems, processes, team, the rest, will not get you to 10. You have to be a radical approach. Same thing happens whenever you get to 20 million and then you want to get to 40 million. And people say, oh, okay, now I got it. I already got to 20. I just need to be more efficient and continue just growing sales. No way. You have to have a completely different approach, a radical approach to be able to go from 20. Remember, the systems, the process that got you to 20, great accomplishment, but really be able to 2x that. You have to forget the old rules, what got you there, and really increase productivity, see things completely different, and make some really big investments to get to that. So as an example, clean the house, right? You have to really look into every process and say, okay, if I do incremental improvement to my process, will the process break when I double it, or can I just make some improvements? And most likely you have to make a lot of automation. You need to bring new technology, new systems, because the technology that gets you to 20 will not get you to 40. Second, renegotiate contracts. Usually whenever you get into 20, you're still running with contracts you renegotiate whenever you're doing 5 or 10 million. If you want to go to 40 million, I want you to look into every contract with every vendor supplier and say, hey, I'm here, I want to get to 40 million. I really want to renegotiate the contract and make sure you get some better margin or some better agreement on service and everything they have to provide in the contract. So you really have the contract built for a $40 million company, another contract for a $10 million company that is already having issues at 20 million. Then upsell and cross-sell. Now you have a really strong base of clients if you're doing 20 million. What else can you sell to those clients? How can you increase by 20 or 30% the value per client per year? Those guys, you already have them. They already buy from you. They already trust your company. What other ways you have to be able to increase the value of that client by 20% or sell them, let's say 20, 30%. Then you have to go to new markets. You definitely will have to go to new growing markets. So you could grow probably 25, 50% of the revenue in new markets. So understand your strengths and weaknesses, the trends of the market, and usually you're going to find some newer growing markets, blue oceans that you could start going, that with the expertise, the systems, the process that you have, you're going to be able to have a good or be a good competitor in the new markets or the blue ocean markets. Then cash is king, super important. The faster you grow, the more cash you need. We always say growth sucks cash. If you want to double your revenue, you have to be very efficient with your cash. Same as you did with your suppliers with the contracts. Going to look into your cash cycles. What's a cash cycle? So you invest the first dollar in serving a client until that dollar comes back to you with revenue. So really look at your cycle and said, hey, how can we make my cash cycle 10 days shorter or 15 days shorter? Because usually what happens, if you're running with a cash cycle of a $10 million company, you could probably run a $20 million company, but the cycles, they become dumber and longer because there's a lot of cash that gets stuck. So now that you really want to double again, go back to your cash cycle and say, okay, now I've been running with a cash cycle of a company of 10 million at 20, and it's already clunky and it's already a little bit dumb that a lot of money gets stuck. How can I build a cash cycle for a $40 million company and be radical in the way you see your cash cycle? I think an aim of lowering by 10 or 15 days your cash cycle will be very efficient to give you the cash to be able to double operations. Then inventory. A lot of people said, hey, I'm doing 20 million. I need to have probably a couple of million of inventory. For me to do 40 million, I'm going to need 4 million of inventory. No way. That's for me the difference of scaling and growth. Growth, it means that your revenue grow in the same range as your expenses. Scaling is you're really growing your revenue faster than your expense and your operations. So instead of saying, if I'm at 20 million, I need 2 million. If I'm at 40 million, I'm going to need 4 million of inventory. How can I run a 40 million with probably a 3 million inventory or 3.5? So you could be more efficient in your operation. And inventory is a really big part. Or work in progress that really affects your cash cycle. And then employees. To really have an agreement with your team. There's going to be a lot of drama that is going to be coming into the company, coming from 20, 40 million. And then you have to have an agreement with the team and say, hey guys, I really want to grow the company to the next level, but I want to grow it with you. We're going to have to bring some expertise that we don't have, but why don't we focus on doing a reduction of employee turnover? Why don't we put a goal of 10 or 15% to retain better our team members, so we'll really be able to go to a next level and reduce the drama. So have a commitment with your team that you're going to grow, but there's a commitment from your side. You're going to help them also stay in the company, grow, and how their bonuses or their salary is going to grow. So you have to see everything in your company. It's going to be a completely different mindset at 20 million than 40 million. And more importantly, you're just going to grow between 20 and 40. You're going to grow with a lot of inefficiencies. How can I really scale from 20 to 40 million, be way more efficient, and have the systems, the processes, the contracts, the inventory, the employees that really run a company of 40 million. And I'm going to close with this. Usually people tell me their goal. Hey, I want to be a $40 million company or a $100 million company. And I was like, yes, but who do you have to become first to be able to command a company of 40 million? So imagine I'm working with a company that is doing 20 million. And I say, you probably are running, with all the drama that you're having, you're probably running at a $15 million management team. So your management team is here, your sales are here, and that's why you have so much drama. If you want to really be able to be more efficient, how to get a team or execute at a $40 million valuation, or sales, so you could really take your execution to the next level. Before you really understand, or you could really become a $40 million company, you first have to become a CEO or a leader of a $40 million company, and then build a team of a $40 million company. So you have to raise the standards of your team, your execution of your team, to really run as a $40 million team. Do that first, then the scale is going to be much, much faster. So what are the 3 books that I recommend the most to scale from 20 to 40 million or 10 to 20, 30 million? First, on my Bible, Scaling Up from Bert Harnish. Really, really important book. It will get you the disciplines, the structure, the format that you need to run with your team, and will get a team to run way more efficient. So you could really be able to take your company to a next level, and you will write your one-page strategic plan to be able to have everyone the same plan or the same page. And this is something that happens all the time. I come to a team and I'm having a conversation, and they complain that not everyone is on the same page. I say, great, show me the page. I say, what do you mean? Yeah, if you want everyone to be on the same page, you have to write the page. And that's why I always use Scaling Up. And indeed, I'll leave below a link if you want to download the growth tools from Scaling Up. They're for free. Just go on the link below. You're going to be able to download them. And then there's 2 books that I use. Once I have my base of operation with Scaling Up, I use 2 books to scale it. One of them is Great by Choice, Jim Collins. I really believe this is the best book by Jim Collins that is written for us, for the mid-market companies. Good to Great was a great book for the Fortune 500s. The book that was written for us is Great by Choice, an amazing, amazing book, especially chapter 3, that is 20-mile march, and chapter 7, Return on Luck. I strongly recommend those 2 chapters to be able to have the right mindset to be able to scale a company between 20 and 40. And then lastly, Uncommon Service by Francis Frey from Harvard. Really, really important book. You really have to understand what you're not going to be good at to really be extremely good at something different. A lot of companies struggle to find what they're really going to be good at or what they want to excel and be different. It's easier to first say what you're not good at, and that's why it's called Uncommon Service. The best companies have very, very clear in what they're very, very good at, but they're also very clear what they're not going to be good at and where they're not going to compete. And usually that clarity allows you to send you a very clear message to your client. And then the best clients that are for you, that you build your strategy for, are the ones who are going to be attracted to you. So use these 3 books if you want to really go from 10 to 20 million or 20 million to 40 million. If you want to have a radical change and radical scale in your company, these are great 3 books to be able to help you and your team go to the next level. Hope you help. And of course, below there's a link if you want to download the growth tools and be able to use the growth tools to take your team to the next level and have everyone on the same page. Hope this helps.